Hello, this is John from MyBrandGames.com. It's Thursday, September 15th, 2016, and as you can see in this video, I'm about to play Ghostbusters for the Sega Master System. Did a little tooling around with OBS, which is one of the things I use to record these videos, and I realized, hey, I can add an image. And taking a little bit of inspiration from Giant Bomb, watching a lot of their quick looks and videos, thought, well, I know what I can do with that. And I'm hoping to play some multiplayer games with my friend tonight and record some videos of it. So, it's toying around a little bit with it. Anyways, Ghostbusters for the Master System. This is an Activision title originally, developed by David Crane, one of the luminaries of the video game industry, especially in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. He made tons and tons of great games. Dragster for the Atari 2600 is probably one of my favorite games for that platform. And he had previously worked at Atari. After that, he was one of the founders of Activision, like one of the first big third parties. But anyways, he developed Ghostbusters originally for home computers, and Sega ported it to, Sega Activision. They ported it to the Master System as well as a host of other platforms. I lack the manual for this game, so trying to figure it out on my own was a chore. I was getting nowhere, and I didn't play it too long, maybe just 10-15 minutes trying on my own. It's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go to a website and try and find a scan of the manual. And sure enough, Sega Retro came in handy, as it always does. They had a scan of the manual, so I was able to learn how to play this game, and it's a fun game. Whenever I didn't know what to do, it was kind of a frustrating chore, just sitting there banging my head against the wall, not knowing what to do. But now that I know how to do and have had a little bit more practice with it, playing it off and on for a little bit, I really enjoy it. Anyways, now this title screen is pretty good too, the song rendition. Be curious to see if that gets hit by YouTube. If it's close enough to the actual version of the Ghostbusters theme song that it'll hit it. Anyways, we'll go ahead and do a new game here. I'll go ahead and put in my initials, J.E. So, welcome to the business world. You are now the proud owner of a new franchise. The bank will advance you $10,000 for equipment. Use it wisely. So this game is kind of a mixed bag of a lot of different genres. Primarily, it's a business sim. It's a simulation. So I've got $10,000. I'm going to go ahead and pick a vehicle. I'm going to pick the hearse, just because I like the amount of items it can hold, 9 items, and the price seems right, $4,800. So we'll go ahead and pick that. And now I can put equipment on it. So, let me see here. Let me see what I want. I got $5,200 to play with, so I don't have a lot of money, really. I'm going to put a vacuum on it. Super marshmallow sensor, sure. Maybe I didn't want the super marshmallow. Yeah, I did, actually. Let's do the super PK energy detector. So I don't need the normal PK energy detector. I don't need the marshmallow sensor. Image intensifier, I'm not sure what that does. Again, without having the manual, it's hard to tell. We'll buy some ghost bait, and I'll just buy 2 traps and total this out. Okay, so go ahead and start here. And I'm going to pause it real quick to explain. So down in the bottom left, you've got the Ghostbusters icon. That's me. And this is a top-down view of the city. I'm right outside of the Ghostbusters headquarters. Up in the top right, you've got the shop where, as I accrue more money, I can go buy more equipment. About the middle row, we've got Zool, which I'm not that familiar with the Ghostbusters franchise. I've seen the first movie a couple of times and saw the most recent one just last month. And I think I've seen Ghostbusters 2 as well. I've got them on Blu-ray. But I've never been like an enormous fan. You look online, and there are people who are enormous fans of the show. Of the movies, TV show, everything Ghostbusters related. And I dig it, but I'm not knowledgeable about it. But Zool, that's where I'm going to fight the final boss and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, that building that's red, it's flashing red. It's stable right as I've got the game paused here, but I'm going to drive my hearse over towards it and enter that. That's basically telling me the flashing colors that it's being under attack by ghosts. And so I will try and capture the ghosts. If I capture ghosts, I make money. With more money, I can buy better equipment. And up in the top left, we've got the city's PK energy bar. Again, kind of tying that into at least the first film. That bar is going to steadily increase as more and more ghosts swamp the town as they continue flooding into Zool. Once that bar is red and full, if I have $10,000, I can enter Zool and fight, continue fighting on trying to defeat Zool, or whoever the bad guy is. Gorza's the bad guy. Zool's the place. And if I don't have $10,000 by the time that bar fills red, it's game over. So, you've got the Keymaster, and you've got Rick Moranis' character and Sigourney Weaver's character roaming the streets, and once that bar reaches red and full, they're going to go to Zool and open up the kingdom, blah blah blah. Anyways, I'll get into it and just demonstrate the game in action. So, I'm going to drive over here, and the path I take translates into this driving section, how far I have to drive. Down in the bottom right, we've got a kilometer meter. I've got to dodge traffic and capture ghosts with my ghost vacuum if I ran into any on the way. So once I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and lay a trap, and I can control these two characters individually. Once I fire A, I can kind of corral the ghosts in here, set the trap, and capture them. I made $500 per ghost there. I'm going to go ahead and touch that ghost. Whenever you touch ghosts, it looks like it stops them. This is probably a bad idea. This is going to be a long driving section. But I'm waiting to find a building to save. And whenever you run into Rick Moranis or Sigourney Weaver's characters, you'll lose dollars. Kind of incentivizing you to stay away from them. So that one's flashing purple. I believe that's fixing to be attacked by ghosts. I got 60 kilometers to go. That is a long drive. But it goes by quickly. With the ghost vacuum, whenever I encounter a ghost, I just push the 1 or 2 button and sucks them in. So I think that'll remove them from the map. At some point, every now and then, whenever there's 4 ghosts on screen, coming into Zool, hovering over the city, they can form the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they'll as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man will destroy a building, and that'll cost me $4,000. So I'm incentivized to not let that happen, because, like I said, I need at least $10,000 to enter Zool. And the first handful of times I played this game, I just didn't understand how I was supposed to capture those ghosts. I've got no empty traps, so I got to go back to the ghost headquarters, free up my traps, and I can go back there. But the first couple of times I was playing those ghost busting segments, I could not for the life of me capture more than maybe 1 or 2 ghosts. And then I realized I can control the 2 Ghostbusters independently and line them up and corral the ghosts. Whenever whenever I don't capture a ghost, that ghost will attack one of the Ghostbusters, and I'll have to go back to Ghostbusters headquarters and get another guy. I have to have at least 2 Ghostbusters to bust ghosts. See there, one got on the other side. I go to the button at the wrong time. But anyway, so there I'm down 1 guy. I always have 3 Ghostbusters with me, so I can always continue busting ghosts, but since I'm right by the headquarters, I'm going to go ahead and pop in here and get an additional guy. So they're entering Zool. It's kind of hard to get into the building sometime. I think I have to press the 1 and the 2 button at the same time, and press the direction that I'm facing the building to enter it. I think getting into a wreck like that will just cause me to lose $1,000. It's all about making money. Alright. Up to 6,000. Yeah, it looks like if I press the 2 button, I suck ghosts in with the ghost vacuum. Okay, so no one's here. If I go to a building when there's no one there, that's all that happens. They just come out on the scene, go right back. Of course, a second later, here they all are. Oh, wow, I got lucky. Better head to the headquarters. So with the 1 button, I switch, or with the 1 button, I drop the trap, and then I can switch between the different Ghostbusters. And then with the 2 button, I actually fire the beams. Once I fire the beams, they're going. I can't stop them. So then I have to switch back between the Ghostbusters with the 1 button to wrangle the ghosts. And if you did not know how to do that, if you maybe did not have a manual, it could be tricky to discern on your own. So we got north of 10,000 now, we just need to keep it that way. And if I keep going back and forth, that's going to rack up the miles. So I am incentivized to make the quickest trip possible, the most efficient trip. And using the ghost bait, I can lure ghosts down into one of the corners of the city. So if I fear they're about to form into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, I can try and lure them down into a corner of the city, capture them. And using the marshmallow detector, just as the buildings that are being attacked by normal ghosts turn red, buildings will turn white if they're about to be demolished by the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So I have a little bit of time. And I think the difference between the normal versions... Oh, right there. I think the difference between the normal versions of the PK detector and the Stay Puft Marshmallow detector and the super versions is, with the normal versions, I have to be near a building to know that it's about to fall victim to some ghosts. With the super ones, I can see it from anywhere in the city. So definitely benefit to have these super versions. Do I have any more traps? I have no empty traps. And I think there's a high capacity trap that, I think it automatically sends the ghost back to the headquarters, so I never have to return to the headquarters as I'm doing now to empty up my traps. But it is what it is. But yeah, this game was dense whenever I first started playing it, but as I played more and more and read the manual and kind of understand what to do, it's really pretty cool game. So I'll use some ghost bait. I'll demonstrate that. So I just dropped some there, so they all congregated. I will be able to suck them up as I drive. Oh, whoa, close. I realized maybe a second too late. That was a bad decision. All worked out. Okay, so the bar is starting to fill red, so Stay Puft Marshmallow Man will appear soon. So that means I'm about to enter the next section. This game is made up of like a handful of different sections. I've gotten to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man once. I haven't been able to actually enter Zool to get past that part. So maybe I'll be able to do that this time. Yeah, see, there's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man forming. He's destroying that building. That's going to cost me. I've got to have $10,000 by the time the bar fills. Just about halfway red. Man. Had no time to respond to that. That's gonna almost put me below 10,000. Gotta start busting ghosts. Okay, definitely helpful. Oh. So that building's white. He's still formed. Even though I had that ghost bait down there. Huh. I think you can only use ghost bait in the corners of the city. Yeah, real good rendition of the theme song. While I was reading about this game last night, I just basically let the music play while I was reading online. No empty traps. Oh, shoot. And that building's white. They're gonna form. That's gonna drop me below 10,000. It's coming down to the wire. It's gonna cost me. Made it. Okay, come on. 7,400. Aw, man. Yeah, so bar filled. I've got less than 10,000. It's game over. Sorry, but your mission has failed. The Keymaster and the Gatekeeper entered the Zool and caused Gorza, the enemy boss, to awaken and destroy the city. You could not even set foot inside the Zool because you were unable to earn enough money to gain admittance. Thus, the city was completely demolished by Gorza. The game is over. Try again from the start. Okay. Let's try one more time. Welcome to the business world, yada yada yada. Again, we'll go ahead and do. Let me try the economy car this time. I can only hold 6, so I gotta be careful here. We'll do the super PK energy detector, super marshmallow sensor. I want the high capacity traps. Gotta do ghost vacuum, and I guess I'll do ghost bait. So I can hold one more thing. If I get the money, I think maybe laser confinement system is what transfers the ghost automatically back to the headquarters. Super anion beam, that just makes my Ghostbusters beams stronger or longer. I think I bought that last night, but I didn't really see an effect. Ghost paralysis system, I guess it causes ghosts to freeze in the track, something like that. Supercharger just increases the speed of my vehicle. Super ghost vacuum, just a enhanced version of the normal ghost vacuum. And then defensive wall, I think I can buy only one of these, and I can lay it down in one of the streets of the city, and two characters can't walk past it. But yeah, in reading about this game, it wasn't originally designed as a Ghostbusters game, which kind of makes sense. It's a weird adaptation of the Ghostbusters license. Have sort of a business sim. Especially, Ghostbusters car is so iconic, but here they give you the choice of multiple vehicles. It's kind of like, okay. I just want to drive the Ghostbusters car. But even though the license was just kind of stuck on this, it's still a good game, still a fun game. David Crane was definitely a talent back in those days. So that one's flashing purple. I'm thinking that's going to turn red then. Maybe not, I don't know. Maybe flashing purple means something else. No? It's red. Ah, whoa, no empty traps. It's gonna be a long drive. Okay, I may need to... It's gonna be tough. Kind of shot myself in the foot. I really need to get that laser confinement system if I'm gonna have just one trap. But that cost $8,000. I don't know that I'll be able to make enough before then with just one trap. Maybe I'll go buy a normal trap. It only costs $500. I've definitely got the money for it. Gonna go ahead and go. I wonder if that gives me any money. I would think so. Capturing ghosts normally gives me money. I had 3,200. Yeah, so it gives me a little bit. Oh, that's... Ooh, shoot. That's all the parts I can hold. I'm gonna have to make do with what I got. So I think what I need to try and do better is run over the paths of ghosts more as I'm going someplace. Yes, it's going to make the driving segments longer, but it'll help me make more money. And that may... No, I don't think it's going to slow the growth of the city's PK energy. Come on. Come on. Come on. You have no traps. Close enough. So I do have to be close in proximity to suck the ghosts in. Ooh. There's number 4. Got all 4, okay. Now I need to go back to the headquarters. Looks like I touched one ghost. Opportunity to make $200. I'm not going to get him. But he's still froze there, so that's good. Go ahead and touch all 4. Two and 3, and number 4. Ooh, dang it. Oh. Oh, so if I have multiple traps, I can throw multiples up, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, touched him. Yeah, I've just been trying to get all the ghosts in one attempt. That's helpful to know. I'm still going to try to do them all in a single attempt, but good to know it makes it harder for me to botch it. Dang it. D-pad is kind of imprecise, which isn't a fault of the game. It's something I've encountered with many other Master System games. Sometimes trying to pinpoint exactly which road I want to go down on. A little trickier than it ought to be. Come on, Slimer. Slimers. Alright, got them all. Okay, so I'm bone dry on traps, need to go. Some of them froze. Yeah, running over the ghost, that's definitely a must-do, it looks like, to get to the next stage of the game. They don't really give me a lot. I think ghosts normally give me 500 during the busting sections. Here they just give me 200, but that adds up. Come on. Looks like I was able to stop that fourth one. Just barely. Speaking of just barely, I just barely made it past that vehicle. Got them all. I got one trap remaining. Looks like that building's white, so Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is about to attack. Maybe getting these ghosts will prevent it? Uh-oh. Nothing. No. Huh. Maybe I can just delay the formation of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Ah, see, speaking of which. I think I set a trap in time, I'm not sure. They were all turning green and formed near me. So maybe I dropped it at just a right moment. There's a lot going on in this game. Coast comes right at the end. What? Okay, I've got 18,000. I'll do this one, do the one in between us and the headquarters, then hop back over to the headquarters quickly. Make some quick money. Maybe not. Probably not where I want to cause them all to gather. Oh my gosh, again, they're about to form. If I do not make it, I am going to be upset. I'd be curious to know what I have to do to make it, too. There's 400. Every little bit. Okay, got some ghosts. I think I'll be able to make it. The bar is full. Even if Stay Puft Marshmallow Man forms one more time, I've got the moolah to make it. Okay, so I can't move, everyone's going to Zool. Those two are there, and I've got more than 10,000, so I'm going to Zool. Okay, now, to progress further, I have to get 2 of the 3 Ghostbusters past the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which means I have to get every one of these now. And I am not... Oh, I got one of them. Oh, wow. I got one of them. Good try. The ghosts in the city have successfully been destroyed. You were able to earn enough money to prepare for the battle with Gorza. However, in the Zool, your way was blocked and it was impossible for you to meet him in combat. In spite of your strenuous effort, you were unsuccessful in your attempt to rescue the city. When challenging again, you can start with the money you accumulated during this mission. You have 13,300 in your new savings account number. Input this figure when continuing play. Okay. Well, I will be able to get that savings account number from this video, and with that failure, I'm going to call it quits for this episode. This is episode 1 of my Ghostbusters Let's Play. There will be an episode 2. I find this game enjoyable. I find this game enjoyable enough to continue, and I want to see what else it has in store. You know, going through the manual, it did show some other types of gameplay, and not shown on the back of the box. The 2 screenshots it shows are of the city view and then of that little section with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But this is a pretty solid title. This is probably, at this point, my second favorite title on the Master System, behind Ys, The Vanished Omens. The other games I've played have been okay for the most part, you know, decent, but not worth sticking around with. This one, worth sticking around with. So, calling it quits there. Come back for episode 2. This was John from MyBurnOnGames.com. You can check me out there. You can also check me out on Twitter at John Engelman, JohnEngelman. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.